Have you ever caught your dog's worried gaze during a thunderstorm or upset at a vet visit and wished you could reassure them that everything's going to be okay? It's a heartbreaking feeling to see your fur baby anxious and unable to understand your words. Do you wish you could speak with them like Dr. Dolittle? While you've probably mastered basic commands, wouldn't it be incredible to connect with your pup on a deeper level? In this video, we're diving into how your dog actually understands human speech, ways you can communicate beyond simple commands, and how to decode what they are trying to say to you. By the end, you'll feel like you've earned a PhD in dog communication. Before we begin, if you like this topic, let us know by clicking the like button on this video. And if you are not subscribed, I hope you to subscribe and activate the bell so you never miss any of our future doggy videos now. Can dogs really understand what we're saying? The answer is, kind of. The average dog can learn around 160 individual commands and words, and some super smart pups can recognize up to 200. That puts them on the level of a 2-year-old human. But here's the catch. Dogs don't understand words like we do. While a 2-year-old child is already stringing words into simple sentences and can recognize differences between statements and questions, dogs process language much differently. A fascinating 2020 study showed that dogs' brains don't process similar-sounding words like sit and sip very well. Sure, they'll sit when you say sit, but to them, it's all about associating the sound with an action, kind of like responding to a hand signal or a whistle. They're not connecting with the meaning behind the word. It's just a cue to them. So while your dog might seem like a linguistic genius, they're more of a sound-action pro. Does your dog actually enjoy it when you talk to them? The answer is probably yes, but maybe not for the reason you think. When you're giving commands, talking too much can actually stress your dog out. They're trying to figure out what you want, but when they can't pick out the command from all the chatter, it can be overwhelming. Dogs really want to please us, so when they can't understand, it can be frustrating for them. However, in other settings, your dog likely enjoys hearing you talk, even though they can't fully grasp what you're saying. They're incredibly attuned to your tone of voice. Dogs can easily tell when you're being affectionate or praising them, and honestly, they just love the attention. Dogs love being talked to so much that some animal shelters actually hire people to read to the dogs as part of their enrichment. You can even do this at home with your own dog. Just be sure to keep your tone light and positive. Dogs respond better to higher-pitched sounds, which might explain why your dog enjoys your baby talk. While your dog definitely loves hearing your voice, did you know that talking to them can be just as great for you? Humans are naturally social, and when we don't have someone to chat with, it can take a toll on our mental health. But that's where your furry friend comes in. Studies have shown that interacting with pets can lower the levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, in our brains. Sure, your dog isn't a certified therapist, but they're always ready to lend an ear without judgment. Sharing your thoughts or problems with your dog can be incredibly comforting. After all, they'll never spill your secrets. For those who find it hard to open up to people, your dog can be the perfect confidant. Daily chats with your pup can make you feel more connected and help relieve stress. Even though your dog might not understand every word, they're there for emotional support. Talking to them can give you that comforting feeling of being heard. And let's be honest, who's better at offering unconditional love than your dog? So, how can you understand what your dog's trying to say to you? While dogs primarily use body language, they also use sounds to get their message across. At first, all barks might sound alike, but with time, most dog parents can recognize different barks for different needs. Your dog might have a special bark for let me out, or another for dinner time. Every dog has their own communication style, so the trick is to pay attention and connect their barks and behaviors with specific situations. There are, however, some universal sounds you can learn to interpret. For instance, low-pitched barks typically mean back off. You'll likely hear this when your dog feels protective or senses a threat. High-pitched barks or yelps. Those are usually signals of fear or pain, often triggered by something like thunderstorms or fireworks. Playful, medium-pitched barks tend to sound a bit bouncy or stuttery, often paired with some huffing as if to say, "Come on, let's play." Dogs might also howl, whine, or even make a rare purring-like sound when they're super content. That soft dog purr is a sign of total relaxation. If you hear it, your pup is in pure bliss. So, can you teach your dog to speak like a human? Well, not exactly. Dogs don't have the vocal cords to replicate human speech, but there's a new trend that's gaining popularity: talking buttons. These buttons are designed to help dogs speak by associating certain words with specific actions or needs. When a dog presses a button, it says something like food or outside. With enough training, some dogs are using these buttons to let their humans know when they're hungry, need a potty break, or even when something feels off. Some button-using dogs have even amazed their owners by combining different buttons to say more complex things. One dog reportedly hit squeaker and car after hearing an ambulance go by. Pretty cool, right? But here's where the experts start to get skeptical. Experts aren't entirely convinced dogs are forming thoughts like, "I'll press the play button because I want to play," but rather they're learning that pressing the button gets them what they want, similar to how they understand that sitting when you say sit gets them a treat. This phenomenon is similar to the famous case of Clever Hans, a 19th century horse who supposedly solved math problems by stomping his hooves. His trainer believed Hans was doing basic math, but really, Hans was just picking up on tiny, unintentional cues from his trainer's body language. This Clever Hans effect shows how animals can appear smarter than they really are when they're simply responding to our subtle signals. Could the same thing be happening with button dogs? It's possible, but either way, it's fascinating to see how dogs are learning to communicate with us in new ways. Imagine for a moment if your dog could suddenly speak human language. What would they say to you? "More treats, please," or "Let's go for another walk," might be at the top of their list. They'd probably also have some hilarious takes on our quirks. After all, dogs are way more observant than we give them credit for. They're constantly watching us, and if they could talk, they might call us out for some of our funniest habits. Even though dogs can't talk to us the way we talk to them, they're always talking through their actions, barks, and body language. Understanding these cues can deepen the bond between you and your dog, making your bond stronger than ever. So next time you're having a conversation with your dog, remember, they may not get every word, but they're definitely picking up on your tone, soaking in your attention, and loving every moment.